They don't know quite what to think.
For John Hood, writing fiction was a novel idea.
Mountain Folk is a historical fantasy novel that's set in colonial America.
Mountain Folk is Hood's 8th book. The other 7, things like Catalyst, a biography of former Governor Jim Martin, were nonfiction. In Mountain Folk, there are a lot of real events.
They moved to Philadelphia, they went across Pennsylvania, then down the wagon road, which basically comes right down here.
And real people.
Daniel listened intently. Presently, his keen ears picked up on some rustling in the thicket.
You'll meet Daniel Boone in the opening chapter.
Slowly, carefully, he cocked his rifle. Then several things happened at once. The thicket suddenly exploded into a mass of shaggy fur, bared teeth, and beastly rage.
You'll also meet Alexander Hamilton and George Washington and learn the truth about Valley Forge, that it wasn't really a harsh winter.
That was not their problem. Their problem was food. It wasn't being cold.
The book blends that history with folklore and Hood's imagination to create a fantastical ride.
What I'm trying to do with Mountain Folk is to explore some really important ideas about human nature, even though I'm using some non-human characters to do it.
Like a giant sea monster and improbably big dwarfs in the tradition of books like The Chronicles of Narnia and the Lord of the Rings series.
These are stories that use non-human characters and fantastic elements to explore the depths of human nature. That's what I'm trying to do in my sort of limited way in Mountain Folk.
And in today's crowded publishing world,
I'm speaking to you from Davidson County, North Carolina. Legend has it that when Daniel Boone and his family first arrived in North Carolina,
Hood has another innovation, using YouTube videos to bring the reader to the real-life places that are in the book.
Just a bit down the river is a place called Mermaid Point,
to help them feel as if they are there with the characters.
And it'll be fun for them to go and see, could in fact the hero of the story really run up that hill? How big is that cave? Can that monster fit in that cave?
And in the end, this book is about reviving the idea of the imperfect hero.
A lot of times we tear our heroes down by pointing out that they have flaws. Of course they have flaws, they're human beings. But we need to elevate people who did heroic things, even if it's not all the things they did in their life.
Which can make for a very good read. Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.